Because it's difficult by yourself to break out of your identification. When you live in this tension and in this polarization, you experience yourself as the victim. So to make this switch, I think you need one another. You need this space to be able, it's like together we can do it. And then, at least that's my experience personally, it's harder. But when I have this experience and this chance, then I myself can also get out of something and, you know, see another side, see another aspect, connect with my sense of power, as well as get support to go into my hopelessness and let go. For me, if I really go into the hopelessness, momentarily I let go, and then something else emerges. The hope, the dream, connection with the dream or something. But it's hard to do on your own. Whereas in a space that makes space for that, it's easier to go there also.
Yeah, it's a support group for us too. These group processes and these.
I was just wondering, like, in this work that you're doing, what's the meaning for you? What are you learning? But you're saying it, that this is some of what's valuable for you, because it's also group therapy for you and group process for you.
Yeah, it's your road to another perspective, you know, to your own multiple dimensions of experience.
That sounds where community and awareness come together. That community, in a sense, as you're facilitating it, helps create more awareness in some way.
That we need each other. You can't do it alone. You need each other to get to get out of one perspective only.
Right. Yeah, that reminds me how sometimes I can get depressed about some kind of an issue, and I only have the limited perspectives in my own mind. Mm-hmm. But when I go into a group situation, sometimes even without directly working with the issue, it gets lifted because there's different feelings, there's different points of view, there's different styles of being in community that just help my state of mind. What else have you been learning doing this work and doing these community meetings and group processes? What else have you been finding meaningful? What else have you been learning in these processes?
For me, my growing point, where I feel I still am, is my ability, my own awareness around my power and how I use it, and to be able to notice and be aware of the leadership and the power that is emerging, and to be able to support that, and get out of the way and really support that. That's where I feel my growing edge is, to because sometimes it comes as an attack against you, or something that's coming at you, and to realize and to see that this is the leadership emerging, and to empower that. In a way, it's like I feel like the government, who is unable to really support the creative leadership emerging.
Yes.
And recognize it, see it, and let go, and help really bring that even more forward when it arises, is one point that
sounds so deep. And I can also imagine it would be sometimes difficult to see that an attack or a strong criticism is a kind of leadership.
Yes. Intense situations.
Yeah.
Can you say a little bit more how that might be a kind of a leadership, like a critical attack, for example?
Because the people are bringing up, because in that moment, the sense of you're being criticized. Well, first of all, when I'm being criticized because I am not aware of the effect that I have on someone else, right? It's like whenever you have whatever kind of rank, but due to your position as a facilitator in the group.
Yes.
You go to sleep, you forget about the emotional effect you have on the other one. You say something, but you're separated. You know, you're not awake around the effect that you're having on the other one. So,
Wow.
I create hurt in that way, not intentionally, but still,
No.
I have created hurt. So, in part, the attack that comes as a result from this hurt, and in part also, there is the other person's and the group's own sense of leadership that is emerging and that has a different idea and wants to come forward.
I see.
In that.
That's such an advanced level of awareness in being a leader as a facilitator. In my mind, what you're talking about, Lily, just to have that awareness that you have a kind of a power and it has an impact. And sometimes, I don't know exactly how you said it, but it could put you in a kind of a sleep or distance you away, and that sometimes you get awoken by an attack and start to see that this attack is actually a kind of leadership. That's really amazing.
I think another aspect of it, Bill, is that a lot of people are edged out about their own leadership and their own power. This is a very community-oriented culture, and it's not always easy to stand out. And a lot of that leadership that is edged out, or that creative power to create something, it often, because they're edged out about it, it often comes out as this incredible bitching and criticism about everybody else.
I see.
So often you'll see that people, when they're edged out and they can't internally appreciate what they're doing, or they can't really stand for their way of things, they actually just criticize everybody else and bitch about everything. So I think that bringing a bit of awareness to that makes it for less bitchy gatherings too.
That's a great way of saying it. Wow.
Yeah, I want to add that in a situation like that you always have to work with very intense feelings and conflicts and chaotic situations sometimes that they happen in the group processes. As a facilitator, I need always to learn. It's a big school for me to be a facilitator in these group processes, because they don't let me sit back. I always have to improve myself and understand better and increase my awareness. It's not always happening at the moment, but it is happening maybe over time. And so it's a big learning with my awareness as a facilitator. But also I want to say in the long theme, living in a situation in Greece, for me, it teaches me to not to resist somehow, to give up, but not give up from my path and what I want to do. Give up the fight, give up the resistance, give up
the resistance to what?
The hopelessness that may be, I felt it a lot when you think that the situation is so much bigger than you and decisions are always be taken for you, that you cannot have a saying there. That is very easily sometimes to put you in some sort of hopelessness.
Yes.
And some sort of resistance to what is happening in an area that you cannot really, I cannot really influence the government right now.
Right. I can imagine a lot of people feel that way, like that as an individual, these things are just happening to them and there's nothing that they can do.
Yeah. So if I go into the fight only to what the government is doing,
Yes.
It's a huge resistance that takes a lot of my inner resources.
Yes.
So in a way, what I'm learning is to give up, to die in a way. And even if I know that things around me it's a mess, even if I know that we have no health system, no public education, everyone is stealing me, still to be able to find a place in me that is not influenced by all that. Still to be able to find a place in me that can just follow my path, just live my life, and find some kind of excitement and happiness inside of me. So I'm learning in a way to die from my expectations, from wanting the world to be as I want it to be, and at the same time working for the world I want to live in.